Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about the subject of Paldea Evolved and whether or not this set might be getting overhyped by investor bros right now. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to give my opinions and tell you what I think here. Before we jump in, if you like this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps out a small channel like mine. Let's jump into it. So Paldea Evolve, if you haven't noticed recently, the market price of the booster box hit about 240, almost 240. It's just shy of 240. It's definitely been growing quite a bit, especially if you look at yeah, there we go, the year chart. I don't know why that took a second to update, but yeah, I mean, obviously this thing has really exploded in price, really grown a lot. And I mean, for comparison, Surging Sparks is just under 250. So, it's approaching the price of Surging Sparks, which, newer set. So let's talk about it. I've heard a number of investors kind of, mention how great Paldea Evolved is. Like, I know a lot of channels have just talked about how it's such an incredible set. It's so strong. It's so good. Even to the point where I heard a couple of people recently compare it to Surging Sparks and say that like they actually like it better than Surging Sparks. So I just I want to kind of bring us all down to earth. So in my opinion, I've always really liked Paldea Evolved. I really have. Like even since when it first came out, I thought it was a great set. If we scroll down through all of the kind of commons, uncommons, and rares, we get to the illustration rares. There's a lot of beautiful illustration rares here. I'm pretty sure positive it does have the most illustration rares of any set in the era. So Paldea Evolved does have 36 illustration rares, which is fantastic. It's phenomenal. I think Paradox Rift has 34, something like that. Both really huge sets. You've got some really beautiful ones here, Magikarp obviously is the big star of the show. This is the card that everybody wants. This card recently hit over $200, I believe, on TCG Player, which is just wild. Shinji Kanda, he's a popular artist. I really personally like the Heracross. I think the Tropius is pretty cool. I like the Meryl a lot. I think the Meryl is highly underrated. Everybody loves the, Raichu and the Tyranitar. Tyranitar is honestly not my favorite. I just don't really love this perspective, and he looks kind of CGI in this to me. It's not an ugly card. It's just not my favorite. I think it is hand drawn, but for some reason, especially in person with the hollow pattern, it just feels kind of CGI, kind of 3D. I don't know. Not my favorite, but everybody loves it. So hey, I'll give you that. I actually think this Frigibax, Artibax, and Baxcalibur line's pretty cool by Komiya. So there's some great cards in here. You've got like the starters, you've got Sprigatito, and you've got the Fuecoco, and you've got the Quaxley, and of course their little evolutions as well, which is special for the era for sure. The Tauros is pretty cool. I love the Pseudo-Wudo. This does not get enough love right here. But overall, like, you're looking at the illustration rares, and really the big chase is that Magikarp. I think the Tyranitar and the Raichu are each about like $40 to $50, somewhere in there. The full arts, in my opinion, are not really that great. Personally, I don't really like them. I think they're just like way too colorful and CGI and just not very interesting to look at personally. If we scroll down to the special illustration rares, I personally have no attachment to like Meowscarada, Wo-Chien, or the Chien-Pao, or the Tinglu. Like to me, they just kind of are like, even the Quackable and the Squawkabilly and the Skeledirge, I'm like, I just don't think they're that great of cards. Really, to me, the only big cards, and you can kind of see that in their prices, is the Iono and then the Chi-Yu. Dendro was popular for a while, but that card kind of crashed. It was mostly a Japanese popularity. But guys, really take a look at this. Like, these are your top cards in the set, like your highest rarity cards. They're okay. I mean, there's really like a couple strong ones between the Iono and you could argue the Chi-Yu, but the Chi-Yu is never going to be that popular of a Pokemon compared to, other more popular Pokemon or sets. So I'm like, okay, this is Paldea Evolved, okay? Compare that to Surging Sparks, which, these investor bros recently compared it to. And I'm like, Okay, first of all, already we have excellent illustration rares as well. We don't have as many, so I will give that to Paldea Evolved. But Execute's a popular Pokemon. Ceruledge is a freaking cool card. Phoebus, I love that card, especially with the melodic that it goes with. I think this feel is really cool. Somebody called this Feel Team 6, which I thought was brilliant and hilarious, because I think there's 6 feels in here. If you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they're implying there's like one more back there, but no, it's one right here in the foreground. That's what it is. Yeah, cute card. The Latios is an amazing illustration rare. Skarmory is my absolute favorite illustration rare in the set. I think it's freaking fantastic. I personally love the Alolan and Doug trio. The Fanfi's cute. The Bravery's cool. Like, there's some really cool, even the Slakoth is honestly super hilarious, especially with the lone little flower. This is an awesome card. So there are some really great illustration rares in this set. Okay. I would argue as many good solid illustration rares as there are Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved has more overall, but I think quality wise, Surging Sparks has the same grade, that same number of high grade illustration rares, if that makes sense. It's missing the Magikarp level 1 in most people's eyes. Now, I would kind of disagree. I think the Skarmory is every bit as good, if not better, than the Magikarp, but that's not what the market says, right? The market thinks the Magikarp is like the best IR ever printed, and that's fine. But now let's scroll down here. First of all, I think the full art's a little more interesting in Surging Sparks. I'm still not the biggest fan of them, though, personally. But you have this Pikachu is very popular, right? So even from an investing standpoint, you can pull a full art in this set that's actually worth something. Whereas in Paldea Evolved, none of these full arts are really worth anything. They're all super cheap. I mean, really, they all are. So if we go back to Surging Sparks here, the big kicker, though, is look at the chase cards. The Pikachu EX, the Melodic EX, the Latias EX, the Hydreigon EX, the Alolan Executor, Alicia's Appeal. Look how many banger chase cards there are in this set. This is a way stronger set than Paldea Evolved, guys. Like, I like Paldea Evolved. I do. I'm not anti-Paldea Evolved. But we have to stay grounded mentally. Like, to say that Paldea Evolved is as good of a set of Surging Sparks or better, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think it's maybe seems like a better investment opportunity because it's probably not going to get reprinted, whereas Surging Sparks probably is. But with the booster boxes at the same price, it's hard to argue that Paldea Evolve is a stronger set at that price, like for what you're going to pull out of the packs, than Surging Sparks. Just saying. So I just want to interject with one thing that I forgot to mention at this point. Paldea Evolved does have a much higher hit rate than, say, Surging Sparks or like Twilight Masquerade, Temporal Forces, some of these newer sets. Paradox Rift is kind of close to it as far as the SIRs go. The IRs are about the same hit rate, but the SIRs are much harder to hit in these newer sets than they were in Paldea Evolved. So if you like having a higher chance of pulling something from your packs, then the nod would go to Paldea Evolved. And I do give Paldea Evolved and Paradox Rift that nod. I think they're more fun to open than Surging Sparks personally, just because you have a much higher chance of getting those SIRs. However, I would like there to be a lot of SIRs in the set that I actually wanted to pull, which is why I would prefer Paradox Rift to Paldea Evolved, because there's actually a lot of SIRs I'd like to pull in Paradox Rift. If you're just looking at the chase cards themselves, though, is really the point that I'm trying to make. I think Surging Sparks has much stronger chase cards than Paldea Evolved. Just saying. Let's look at some other sets, too. Let's look at Paradox Rift, because Paradox Rift I find really interesting. This booster box is anywhere from like $190 to $200, so it's about $40 to $50 less than Paldea Evolved. And yet, look at all the gorgeous illustration rares it's got. I personally love the Toad Scroll, the Magby, the Mantike. How much Mantike action do we even see? We hardly ever get Mantike on a card. I think the last Mantike card was like mid-era or something like that. It's crazy. Beautiful, beautiful card with this guy in the submarine. It's so freaking cool. Even the Espathra is honestly a cool card, even though I'm not that big of a fan of it. This Blitzel gives me total like Harry Potter, and the Prisoner from Azkaban type vibes when they're in the woods and he's got his oh my gosh, the name is going to escape me. It's this little protector that he calls, and they look different for everyone. And his is like a deer, an ant, with antlers and everything. And he thinks it's his dad. Oh gosh, I should know the name of this. One of you in the comments, put the name of what I'm talking about down there. But no, Blitzel, I think this is a cute card. And he's like looking over at the other Blitzel. Come on, guys. This is an underrated card right here. But let's just go back to what I was saying. Groudon, fantastic card. Not as big as the Magikarp, but definitely a very big card. I think the Garbodor is highly underrated. This is like 90s Saturday cartoons right here. Fantastic, cute little cartoon card. Him sitting in a trash heap. The Yveltal is an amazing card. The Steelix, we've already talked about it many times before, is an amazing card. Porygon Z, an amazing card. Swablu, a beautiful card. If you're a Yukimori fan, you've got your Claymation Apom here, which is cute. Iron Jugulus. I mean, talk about the synthwave 80s vibes. California Sunset. How cool is that? That's a freaking cool card. It's like I'm looking at these and I'm like, the illustration rares, it has at least as many bangers, I think more than Paldea Evolved. Put in the comments if you disagree with me, but I think already this booster box is cheaper, and I think you have a higher chance of pulling an illustration rare that, in my opinion, is as cool or better than you do in Paldea Evolved. I would rather open Paradox Rift, personally, between the two. And then you've got all these full arts. I think the full arts are much cooler in Paradox Rift. The Iron Valiant is really cool with that futuristic background. You got the Sandy Shocks with the little sand in the background. I think that's really cool. The Roaring Moon with the sand in the background. There's at least like 3 full arts here that I think are pretty cool. And then you get into, well, and honestly, even some of these trainers I think look pretty good too, like the Parasol Lady. But this is where it gets really interesting to me. Let's look at the chase cards. We have 15 special illustration rares in here. And I would happily pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the 15 I would happily pull and be like, well, maybe not the Iron Hands, so maybe 9. So 9 out of 15 I would happily pull and be like, that's a phenomenal chase. So phenomenal is not really the word that I meant to say here, but really just that it's a solid chase. Out of those 9 cards, some of those arts are like top tier in my opinion. Like I think Roaring Moon, Iron Valiant, and Parasol Lady to me are 3 really beautiful, well, and even Altaria. Those 4 are really beautiful cards and would be my top chases. However, I would not be disappointed to get any of those 9 that I mentioned. They're all really cool cards in my opinion. And that's really the point that I'm trying to make, is that there's some really good top hits and some kind of next level below that top hits that are still really solid that I would still love to pull, if that makes sense. I know I talk up Paradox Rift too much, but to me, I'm like, I think this is a stronger set than Paldea Evolved. Now, as an investment, you could argue the market values Paldea Evolved more. Fine. Temporal Forces. I'll kind of skip over the illustration rares a little bit faster this time, but Shiftry, super cool card. The Deerly and Sawzabuk go together. They're beautiful. Even the Grottle here is incredibly cute. Charge-a-Bug, cute. Ghastly is honestly one of the best IRs of the entire era. I like it better than the Magikarp. Just saying. I think it's a gorgeous card. How many times do you get Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar on the card at the same time together? That's too cool. I think this is a beautiful Arbok. The Metagross is cool. Heck, even this Lickitung is freaking cute. The Chatot, the fact that it forms musical notes is fantastic. So Temporal Forces, I think again, even though it has less illustration rares, it's got probably just as many banger illustration rares in it as Paldea Evolved. Once again, the full arts look better in Temporal Forces. The Iron Leaves, the Walking Wake, the Gouging Fire. A lot of these look better. You've got a Gengar full art. That's better. So all your full arts in Temporal Forces to me. A Caesar EX. How freaking cool is this Caesar? Even though I'm not a big CGI person, there's some decent full arts in Temporal Forces. I don't think any of the full arts in Paldea Evolved particularly look that great to me. Let's zoom on to the chase cards. Look at this. Iron Leaves. Still a card that I want to get to this day. I think it's so cool, especially with this just sharp, edgy rock back. It's so freaking cool. This card is so underrated, and I need to buy it because nobody's looking at it right now, and it would be a great time to buy it. Gorgeous card. I've been wanting to get it in a 10. I just think it's super cool. Gouging Fire is a beautiful card. Walking Wake. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty cool. Iron Crown EX, of course, has always been a really popular one. Iron Boulder, not that great. Raging Bolt, man. This is such a cool card. I mean, this whole like, Sahara, not Sahara, but Savannah style, African plains with the trees and like you're out hunting in the forest. I mean, just gives you like Lion King vibes. It's just so dang cool. Another card that I badly want in a PSA 10. So there's at least probably, you got Morty's Conviction down here, 5 or 6 in here that I would love to pull compared to Paldea Evolved, where it's like 2 of the top hits that look really cool. The gold cards in this too, by the way, I think are better. So, we could go on. We could go on to Journey Together, which I still think also has more top chases between Iono's Belly Bolt, Lily's Clefairy, and Zoroark, Salamence, even a little bit Hobzation. Like, this is a smaller set than Paldea Evolved, but I still think it has better chase cards, right? Paldea Evolved, I do think beats it on the illustration rares. So I would still probably give Paldea Evolved the thumbs up over Journey Together personally, but I'm just showing you, like, there's a lot of sets that have better chase cards than Paldea Evolved. Scarlet and Violet Base Set has better chase cards than Paldea Evolved. Hear me out. Look at this. You can pull this gorgeous Miraidon. And if you've seen this in person with texture, it is gorgeous. Would you rather pull this, or would you rather pull this Wo-Chien? It's a slug, guys. It's like a leaf-covered slug. Heck, let's pick the coolest one of them all, the Chien-Pao. Okay? That's pretty cool. It's not my favorite. Some people like it. I think it's kind of goofy looking with just how freaking massively long his tusks are. But would you rather pull this Chien-Pao, or would you rather pull this Miraidon? For me, it's obvious. I would rather have this Miraidon. This Miraidon's dope, dude. The colors, the dog looking out the window, Fido looking out the window at him, like his like legendary status of him like floating through the city. It's just freaking cool. Or you've got the Koraidon where he's chilling in the woods and he's looking like like a beast in the woods with a little Dedenne in the front. Like, I don't know. I think that's a better card. Miriam. I think Iono is probably a little better than Miriam, but I think Miriam's a fantastic card. I even think the Great Tusk is pretty cool, and everybody loves the Gardevoir. Can't go wrong with the Gardevoir. I think there's at least 1, 2, maybe you could say and a half, 3.5, 4.5. So like 4.5 strong chase cards, like not super strong, but strongish chase cards in Scarlet and Violet compared to Paldea Evolved, which has, in my opinion, 2. Chiyu and Iono. I do like Sagaro, but the market doesn't really seem to care about Sagaro that much, but I do like Sagaro. So maybe 3. Do you see my point here, guys? Like, I love Paldea Evolved. I have investments in Paldea Evolved, and I have cards in Paldea Evolved. I'm not anti Paldea Evolved, but I am like, let's stay grounded to reality. And I feel like what I'm hearing from some of these investors is like, Paldea Evolved, man, it's like one of the best sets of the entire era. It's so good. I'm like, like, is it though? Is it that good? They're also talking about like how not only is it going to be in the top half, but it's going to be like towards the top of the top half. I'm not seeing it, guys. Help me understand. If you disagree with me, if you think Paldea Evolved is one of the best sets, let's say if you think it's one of the top 3 sets, and I should have started at the beginning and said booster box sets, right? You'll notice I didn't show 151 or Paldean Fates, which I think both blow Paldea Evolved out of the water as sets. I think it's very hard to compare those because you can't compare booster box prices and it's like a little different the way they're released. So I excluded specialty sets, including Shrouded Fable 151 and Paldean Fates when I did this comparison. But I love Paldea Evolved. I do think it's a great investment. I do not think it is at Surging Sparks level. I don't think it's at Paradox Rifts level personally. That's just me. I would love to hear you guys' opinion on it. I just think it's important amongst these investor bros. They're pushing this so hard. It's like, is that the reason the price is going up? Is just that the investor bros won't shut up about Paldea Evolved? Like, how much real raw interest is in this set? I wonder. I seriously wonder, because it's been talked up on so many YouTube channels, and I feel like the pressure on the price has really gone up over time because of all of that conversation about it. And I'm wondering how many people really just love the set for what it is. I think people love that Magikarp. Maybe they're just chasing the Magikarp. Great, that's fine. Does that one single chase card of the Magikarp make it a stronger set than these other sets? I don't think so. But anyway, I kind of blabbered on. I repeated myself a lot. I apologize. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, sorry for making that a little bit long. I am a little under the weather right now, so maybe I'm not quite at peak performance right now. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. How would you rank Paldea Evolved amongst the other Scarlet and Violet sets? And what do you think of it as an investment? Talk to you later.